This was a true honor to have Dr. Elizabeth Norton talking about her latest book, Women Who Ruled the World. And here is a sneak peek of our interview. If you want the full thing, please join my membership, Elle History. Let's listen to Beth and what she has to say about these women. But more importantly, was Elizabeth very similar to a Chinese empress before her? Let's find out.
I compare Wu Zexin with Elizabeth I in one chapter. I think it's my favourite chapter, actually. And actually, this was the sample chapter that I kind of sent to the publishers and said, buy my book. But I love it. And they're totally different. I mean, on the face of it, you shouldn't be able to compare them. Wu lives in the 7th century, only Chinese female head of state. Elizabeth, of course, lives in the 16th century. I mean, Wu would never even have heard of what wasn't even a unified England by that stage, and I doubt Elizabeth had heard of Wu. But actually there are similarities, and that's what I was trying to bring out. They're both quite fortunate they don't have close male relatives, or at least powerful male relatives. I think that helps, and that's brought out in the book. But they're both very good at propaganda, of course. So, I mean, Elizabeth is absolutely a master at turning what is a huge negative in being born female in the 16th century into actually kind of an advantage, kind of a positive. She constructs Gloriana and the Virgin Queen, and, she used her marriage negotiations. And I think it's really impressive because it is a bad thing being a female who's trying to be powerful in the 16th century. It's really hard. And
remain single as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is incredibly rare, to be powerful enough that you don't have to get married, because generally they do.
That's why I think I fell in love with Elizabeth. I just thought, oh my God, I was 17 when I heard about her in France, and I was like, oh my God, she's so cool.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. And Wu's also amazing. And that's what I was trying to bring out as well. She uses propaganda. There's this wonderful text that she finds. She's a Buddhist, of course, and she finds this text, the Great Cloud Sutra, which says that the Buddha will come back in his final incarnation as a woman. And it's heavily implied when this is disseminated that this is Wu, of course. And for centuries everyone thought she just created this book. She is very good at writing her own text. She has her own team of scholars, and then actually I think in the 70s they discovered an earlier version in a cave in India and realized that no, she'd actually just found this book. But she's so good at it, and when she finally takes the throne, people are basically begging her to become empress because they've seen phoenixes on the palace roof. There's all these omens, and it's all her, kind of building this up. A very, very powerful woman. So I try and compare her with Elizabeth, and there are huge differences, of course, but I think it's really important to look at the similarities. We live in a patriarchal world, and nobody really wants a reigning queen, and that's true until the mid-20th century, really. Margareta of Denmark, Margareta II, wasn't heir to the throne until she was a teenager, because it was going to be a male cousin instead. It was only when they changed the succession laws. So nobody really wants a reigning queen. Most places will accept one if it means the end of the dynasty otherwise. And this is what gives women their opportunities in general. I mean, there are some that take the throne. Catherine the Great, for example. Catherine the Great had no claim to the Russian throne. Didn't really stop her, though. But in general, if you're at the end of the dynasty, they'll take a woman. And it's why women are often become monarch when there are times of dynastic turmoil, when things are starting to fall apart. And they're not the cause of this, they're the symptom of this, because you don't have a reigning queen generally unless things are going a bit badly wrong. Like the Tudor dynasty, of course, they're not very good at producing surviving male heirs, so they end up with women by default. But you see that the world over. But it's, there are a lot of similarities. I think Elizabeth I would recognise her role in Wu. I think she'd recognise her role in Cleopatra. And I think that's really worth drawing out, that, these women are members of quite a select club.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and thank you for your support. Bye.